Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cryptids and Critters Paranormal. I'm your host, the Dooster. Today, I want to share a story with you. It's featured in two of my books. One of them is Something Wicked, The Bell Witch Phenomenon, and the other is Season of the Critters. These two books, as well as all my books, are available on Amazon. I also have them here at my house, and if you would like a signed copy delivered to your mailbox, shoot me an email, ghosthunter911@gmail.com. Once again, that is ghosthunter911@gmail.com. And I will make sure you get a copy delivered to your mailbox. You can also go to my other Facebook page, Soggy Bottom Bookstore. You can kind of browse through my selection of books that I have written, and it'll kind of tell you a little bit about each one of them. And but today, this one is I'm gonna read to you today is it's out of both those books. I call it First Contact, and it happened near present-day Adams, Tennessee. Perhaps the first encounters with cryptids in Robertson County, Tennessee, occurred in the year 1817 and coincides with the initial appearance of the infamous Bell Witch. This haunting is known the world over and is the only recorded occurrence of a paranormal entity taking the life of a human, which took the life of John Bell Sr. in 1820 by administering a fatal dose of poison while he was bedridden. But first, let's get on with the cryptid encounters. The first cryptid encountered by the Bell children was described as a very large vulture with glowing red eyes and razor-sharp talons. It may be mentioned here that vultures do not have talons, as do predatory birds. The same for glowing red eyes. My book, Something Wicked, The Bell Witch Phenomenon, summarizes their first contact on the John Bell farm near what is now Adams, Tennessee. At the time, it was called Red River, Tennessee. The large vulture lazily circled overhead as Betsy and Drury Bell made their way toward the orchard to pick some apples. From its superior vantage point, it studied them carefully as they skipped down a narrow lane that led to the orchard. Spiraling downward ever so slowly, the vulture perched itself on the topmost branch of the old maple tree and continued to watch intently as the children grew closer and closer. Just as they entered the orchard, the large bird swooped down for a closer look, alighting on the split-rail fence just a few feet from the children. It showed no apparent signs of fear as it watched their every move, turning its head slowly from side to side as it observed their reactions to its presence. The children continued with their apple picking and seemingly paid the vulture no mind. It is until it jumped down from the fence and fiercely flapped its wings at them. Drury hurled an apple in its direction, whereby it instantly vanished in a puff of smoke. Oh, it didn't fly off, mind you. It just vanished into thin air. Betsy screamed and ran from the orchard with Drury close behind. They forgot all about the apples. As they hightailed it to the safety of the house, Drury sensed something behind him and abruptly came to a stop on the porch step. Turning around, he half expected to see a large vulture in pursuit. Instead, he saw what first appeared to be a large black dog running toward him. He then realized something was very odd about this creature. It had two heads, each equipped with its own pair of glowing red eyes. Frothy white foam dripped from between its razor-sharp fangs as the dog creature closed in fast and furious on the terrified youngsters. As if that wasn't enough, Drury noticed that the creature's feet did not seem to touch the ground. As the terrified children stood frozen in fear, the dog creature leaped into the air as if to attack, and then simply vanished into thin air. Is it possible that the large vulture shape-shifted into the two-headed dog? Could this possibly have been what's known as a shapeshifter? In the paranormal world, anything is possible. A few days later, John Bell ventured into the northernmost part of his farm to check on the corn crop. With a shortage of seed corn that year, he could only afford to put out a small crop, and he wasn't about to take any necessary chances with it. It would take every stalk of corn that sprouted that year just to meet his family's needs. In fact, the corn situation was so critical that John had Dean and the other slaves erect a high split rail fence around the cornfield to keep the livestock and the deer out. Even though the deer had become scarce and hard to find, John took his muzzleloader and rifle with him just in case the opportunity presented itself. What did present itself, however, would come to haunt John for the rest of his life, for in no way was he prepared to face what stared at him from between the rows of corn. For several days now, Drury and Betsy had been trying to tell him about the strange creatures they had been seeing around the farm, but he simply passed it off as figments of their imaginations. Now here he was, face to face with this oddest, strangest looking creature he had ever seen in his entire life. It looked somewhat like a large black dog, but yet something was definitely wrong with this picture. Very wrong. It had the unmistakable body of a dog, but yet its head resembled that of a large rabbit. Thinking his eyes were deceiving him, he moved in for a closer look, whereby the creature hissed and bared its razor-sharp teeth, making it appear even more ominous and sinister than before. Even the hounds had sensed the imminent danger, and were now scurrying across the field in the opposite direction, leaving John to fend for himself against this unknown adversary. As the creature stared directly at him, with its menacing red eyes, John raised his rifle, took careful aim, and squeezed the trigger. A cloud of blue smoke erupted from the gun barrel as the lead ball sailed swiftly and accurately toward its intended target. When the smoke cleared, the creature had simply vanished without a trace. No blood, no hair, nothing to indicate the creature had been hit or wounded. In fact, there was no evidence of tracks or any other sign that would have indicated that anything had ever been there. All that was found was a small crater in the dirt near the fence rail, evidently left by the musket ball when it connected with the dirt. John tried to convince himself that it was just a missed shot, but deep down, he knew better. Something was definitely wrong here, and as John turned and made his way back to the house, a feeling of dread swept over him. His gut told him he was being watched, but by what? Like I said, this is featured in two of my books, Something Wicked, there's the Bell Witch Phenomenon, and the Season of the Critters. My books are available on Amazon. If you want one, either go to Amazon and get one, or if you want a signed copy, you can email me at ghosthunter911@gmail.com. And I thank you for listening. If you don't mind, subscribe to my channel, like it, share it. And like I said, this is the Deuster, and we will catch you later. Have a good day.